So yeah, in regards to like Asian dudes, you'll just adjust, man. I mean, I see ever since we've been with on Island Block, like I see how Polynesians, specifically Samoans, in the case of Miss Lulu and Joseph, they're just. I mean, some people may interpret it as you're closed-minded, you only stick to your own, but a lot of it, from what I see, especially themically of what they're trying to do with Island Block, it's they love their own.
Yeah.
So it doesn't become an issue. But I don't know. I mean, I just wonder how black girls feel. Because that was the whole percentage about like online dating where it's like Asian males lowest, black females the lowest also, right?
Right. And the thing is that black females are, they're sensationalized in media, right? Whether it's, in movies or whatnot, whereas the Asian male hasn't yet really been sensationalized. And, but again, going back to your point, black females are still at the same level as Asian males, where they're like the least desired.
For online dating.
Yes.
Because in the media, I think black females have a jump way ahead.
Oh, yeah.
You look at Megan Good, Beyonce. I mean, I hate to just use that, and then let's talk, Serena Williams. There are formidable, like, deity-type figures with black females.
And to go off what Villa was saying, I mean, like, there hasn't been an Asian superstar for the males, at least here in America, since Bruce Lee.
Maybe Manny Pacquiao could be the next one.
Yeah.
Maybe not as big as the comet of Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
But Bruce Lee, I remember there was a lot of girls that were like, oh, yeah, I think he's fine. There was this one actor, he didn't make it that big, Russell Wong.
Yeah.
But he's like, I think a quarter.
But
or if not half white.
Hollywood even transformed it to the point where it's just like, all right, Bruce Lee, you're going to beat Chuck Norris, but at the same time, Chuck Norris is going to take over the martial arts scene here in America, so we're going to make it white.
Right.
Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, Kane from Kung Fu.
Right.
We're going to make him white, by the way. Even though that's such an Eastern story, that's what's happening.
The Last Samurai, we're going to put a white guy in there.
Right. I mean, by story, it's accurate, but like what you said, they're painting it to be like, you totally could have spun that into something Japanese historical on how they taught a white guy.
Yeah.
But now the angle was how the white guy learned the culture.
Yeah.
The sharing. There's two perspectives at minimum, right? It's like, how do we make the Japanese look better, or how do we make the white guy look better? In that case, good old fucking Dianetics. Tom Cruise, dude, doing his thing. But do you guys feel it's changing though for Asian guys?
Is it changing?
Yeah, like as far as for the perception.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not on the equal level or anything like that, but yeah, definitely changing, getting a little bit more attention, especially with Hollywood being so left and trying to be inclusive in a sense, and people are also bringing when they fuck up, like with the whole aloha and all the things that's going on.
Sure.
They check them a little bit, but is it? I don't know how far ahead it is, how far ahead Asian males are, but I think that they're moving somewhere.
I think, who have it worse are the East Indian. Dot Indians.
I was going to say, because ever since we, like I told you to watch, what was Aziz's show?
Aziz Ansari, Master of None.
Master of None, yeah. Just to see that, it made me think of like a ranking of who to pass next in Hollywood, because I think whites were passed for the longest, then blacks sort of got this opening through the door, and now it's about accepting other minorities. So it may be Mexicans in line, it may be Indians, because I think Aziz is making a pretty strong case after that episode, but Asians are also there. I think Arabs are probably at the bottom right now because of terrorism.
Yeah, Afghanis,
Pakistanis, like anyone pretty much.
Persian, yeah.
Persian even.
Anyone that you can stereotype that can hold an AK-47.
Russians too, maybe.
That too.
Yeah.
But I think Russians do have like a mob coolness behind him, the way it's been portrayed in Hollywood.
They're the best villains for any movie.
Well, they're also like Anglo looking too.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to make him good or bad.
You know what? I was thinking the other day on Netflix, I caught the series Love
Oh, yeah.
by Judd Apatow. Mm-hmm. At first I thought, and Justin, if you want to jump in voice-wise, you know how I do.
Yeah,
You can jump in anytime. So, at first I was like, okay, maybe Judd's painting another picture of the guy. Maybe he's trying to strengthen the women. But if you look at, I forgot the name of the movie, Katherine Heigl and Seth Rogen.
Knocked Up.
So he plays like a loser who's trying to climb.
Yeah.
Trying to climb his way up. Oh, okay, I can dig it, Judd. They're pot smokers. Sure. Mm-hmm. I get it. You get into the movie. I am on point. I'm sharp as a tool tonight. Where the guy chases after his girlfriend in Hawaii.
Oh, fuck! I know which one you're talking about. It's
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
There you go. Thank you, Justin. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Guy's kind of like, I do musical scores, and I'm also in vampire puppet plays.
Right.
The fuck is that? And then now I watched the series Love season 1 and 2.
You saw both of them?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Season 1 in the Philippines because there's so much vibrant things to do in a jungle country. But now I'm watching. It's like, Judd, you're kind of painting this goddamn picture like guys now are losers. And they need to be saved by women and all this fucking Lena Dunham shit on HBO. It's like, it's wrong for us males to say, I don't want to see a fat bitch on TV. We have the right to say that as much as she has the right to be on TV.
Yeah. But as far as them being losers and whatnot, is that kind of just more of an image of the millennial thing that we've been discussing lately with they live at home and they're not doing they're not working or whatever.
That's exactly it. But I'm not worried about the group, all four of us, Justin, who's off camera. I'm not worried about this group because we all collab together and we're like-minded. I'm worried about the people who won't get it. They'll just be literal about it.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, in our time, there were already people who kind of like got triggered by it, and then that became their perception.
Yeah.
Us four, we're good. We know that, okay, that's that character. But to the masses where there's a lot of dum-dums, then that portrays the male stigma that way. Like we're a stigma.
I think Judd Apatow is just copying the basic sitcom formula from back in the day, where you will see the male character be the buffoon. And we saw it largely with fathers, such as like Al Bundy and Married with Children. Or if you want to say the guy from The Honeymooners, the dad for that, Archie Bunker, Homer Simpson. Like there's always like the type of reflection that like the breadwinner is also the dumbass. They're not intelligently coherent.
I almost feel that as more like escapism.
Yeah.
But with Judd, it's so much more consistent.
Yeah.
Like Howard Hughes, okay, the long duck dong thing, you know what? I get it. There were some nerdy ass fucking Asians. That's why the Asian gangsters went uber hard. They thought they were like Eminem. They had to go hard to disprove that.
Right.
And
Street cred.
Right. Or something. I'll kill someone under a pool table. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the one thing that I'm worried about is the people who don't understand things, and then it's going to bring the male species down. Either it makes it acceptable, or it makes this fucking Beyonce Lemonade era now, where it's like I am woman too much.
I think we're living in that right now.
Right, but the whole point of the I am woman is equality, right?
Yeah.
So now they're being new money. So now I understand the phase where it's like, oh, I'm gonna be inherently so radical, then it's gonna taper off, and then hopefully equality. But the thing is, because we are about this radio show with the digital age, then you're gonna have to worry about that because now the perception might be set. Where are the strong male figures? And I love Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
But it's just now it's starting to look like that's the perception that's given of the male. Let's even remove the race.
Well, I think that's just, you got to also kind of say, okay, Judd Apatow, what is he doing? He's doing more comedy centric material.
Sure.
So, and he's using a lot of the same guys. So you're going to see Seth Rogen and
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, or whatever. And it's like, okay, I guess my point is, how literal can you take it? I mean, there's a lot of dum-dums we talked about. Right. But, like you said, there are a lot of dum-dums out there. But, wow. Is it going too far to think that they are going to be taking it that literally?
I think as culturalists, and you are setting a pace of thought, right? Someone like Judd Apatow, is that fair that he could be that influential, where he could set the pace of thought? Because look at what the show Girls has done.
Yeah.
Or what about hip hop culture? Is that kind of like, like with all the characters and all the, Get Money and all that shit? Like, is that perpetuating the lifestyle, or, the culture is going to be just kind of going in that direction? That's it.
I think their era of hip hop, as I pointed to the camera, producer camera up, Justin's on the other side and Zach's on my right.
Yeah.
It's a reset. It's a reborn hip hop. So I think what you're talking about is our time.
Yeah.
That lifestyle. Almost all music is now turn up.
Uh-huh.
EDM, R&B, hip hop, pop. So to answer your question, I think hip hop now is different.
Yeah, it is different. But is that because of what, our generation kind of set up and then perpetuates, like, okay, it's just about get money and all this stuff?
I see what you're saying.
Right.
I think it's a product life cycle. Start, peak, maturation. Our time has matured.
Right.
Their time, fun. Mm-hmm. Fun. Why talk about guns? Fun. Why talk about problems? Gun. No. We're just gonna have fun.
Okay.
Party.
Do you follow like Nirvana, right? You know of Kurt Cobain?
I know the story, but I just I never got into them.
Are you aware that like the rock during our time and before us, a lot of it had to do with pain?
Oh yeah.
Right? So a lot of what you guys have now, it's more like adjustment, I feel.
Or what about suppression?
The punk scene.
Yeah.
Absolutely, the punk scene. That's the one good thing that hasn't changed.
Yeah. Like Pearl Jam was one of the bands that I listened to. And just to hear like the difference of that and how you don't have that type of vulnerability on the airwaves anymore.
Sure.
Maybe with a few artists, like I'm trying to think of who, maybe Black Keys, but that's not even close to what Pearl Jam was able to say in their songs.
Yeah, the melody and harmony's happy.
Yeah.
For Black Keys.
Black Keys is just like, okay, like you're losing your mind. You don't know where you're at. It's just like, fucking Eddie Vedder was talking about almost committing suicide because he lost a girl, and it's Black.
Sure.
Like, that song is just so deep, and you're just like, I can relate to that.
Or that Colorado shooting.
Jeremy. That was a dope ass song. Like most of 10. I'm trying to think of other songs like Father, or like, what is it? Don't call me Father. That song.
I haven't listened to Pearl Jam in forever, man.
So long.
But yeah, it's just like the vulnerability that they have. Even Misfits, like the fact that he was able to get away with, I got something to say. I fucked your mother today, and it doesn't matter much to me. It's just like, oh, like you would assume if that song were to come out today, people would take it so literally that they're just like, oh my God, he's raping a baby. It's just like, no, that's how hard he fucked a girl to that point.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah.
It's taking it literal. Like if Biggie were to say that he's on a boat getting chased by the, CIA, is that literal? Can you not understand that he's being metaphorical?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about, that whole paint a picture about males.
I mean, it's a valid point. I'm not discrediting it. I guess it's just really, maybe I'm just taking for granted the fact that we understand it as a group, and how far are they going to take it? The people outside that are not as sharp.
I'll give you 2 examples.
Okay.
A Lakers Nation podcast post complaining about the podcast name title.
Right.
There's that one.
Yeah.
He was complaining that this is a Lakers Nation podcast. Why are you talking about Russell Westbrook and James Harden? Here's another example. And I won't rant. I promise, guys. Someone who's visited our website and didn't understand the concept of the podcast.
Yeah.
And then they posted on our Instagram.
Right.
Promo flyer. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the likes of Zach and Justin who went to school, come from good families, and then, they're standing on their own 2 feet. I'm worried about the masses.
Yeah.
Where it might be painting a picture that for males to not be motivated. That's that. And your point is valid, and everyone's point is valid here. I'm just saying I'm worried about that.
Yeah.
So do you think that also inspired the nerd generation of males and the acceptance in society of that?
I'm going to credit Joe Olivares, a former Mike here on the show. Before, nerds used to be nerdy, used to be smart, used to be subgenric. But now, the nerdiness now is almost like a Kanye in an Argyle-looking V-neck.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to tribute nerds to people who do like role-playing games, board games like Dungeons and Dragons, the ones that read, the ones that feel like they're anti-society or feel left alone, or the ones who like wrestling.
Oh, I'm a nerd?
I think so. Well,
are you calling me Sam Roberts? Is that what you're calling me right now?
Zach, I want to make it really clear that if you're a wrestling fan, you are technically a nerd.
I got 2 words for you, okay? You're fired.
But that is true, right? You're not just being radio, Justin, right?
I'm not just saying it just for the sake of entertainment right now. I'm saying that that's how society perceives wrestling fans, as nerds. And someday they'll be accepted of it, but right now it's just like its own subculture. It's like we're just different.
Okay,
and we're looked at weird because it's like, oh, you watch that. We're looked at as you watch that fake shit.
No, I completely agree. And there's a stigma for so long that it's just like when I gave up watching wrestling, that when I went back, it was around the time that Sting fucking came back. And that was my childhood. So I wanted to see him, and explaining to other people that I just want to watch pro wrestling because of him. It was so embarrassing as an adult because I can't emotionally admit to them. I'm like, yeah, I'm watching pro wrestling. I had to keep it on the DL.
You wouldn't tell a date that.
I would never tell a date that.
I would tell a date that just because, I don't know. Nowadays, that's what kind of makes you more interesting. I think I said it on maybe 2 different dates, and then they're like, and I'm like, well, not, and I do watch the mainstream stuff, but I'm like, oh, not the fake TV stuff that you see. No, I go to independent shows, and then when I explain that, they actually kind of oh, what say more, tell me more.
Yeah, they're interested.
Okay.
Yeah. The indie stuff is cool, not the TV stuff.
and when you find the chick that agrees with that, then that's the baddie for you. That's the
exactly.
chick
that's the true love you want.
But that hasn't happened yet, unfortunately.
No, but that's okay because when it comes, it's that magic moment.
Yeah.
Are those the girls you're attracted to, by the way? The girls you see at the indie shows?
Some of them, but I'm kind of turned off only a little bit. Let's say at PWG, you see the hot girl that everybody notices. Everybody notices her, and everybody's gonna bug the shit out of her. It's man, I don't want to be everybody else.
Because I would assume it's like Comic-Con where you see that one girl dressed up as cosplay.
Well,
and then
nowadays, Comic-Con, you got every girl dressed up in cosplay, though.
So, yeah, there's more choice.
Doesn't Comic-Con have female bros also?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. They're not exactly in touch with the culture, but they're taking advantage of it to wear a costume and show their tits.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
And it's not like they're not even nerds. They're just doing that for the sake of like role play.
Like here's an example. We talked about it in pre-production. Olivia Munn. During G4 days.
Yeah.
You know, to me, I was like, I look at Olivia Munn. If I were to ever meet her in person or be like 10 feet away from her, I would like start shaking. I think she's gorgeous. I think she's naturally intelligent, and she's a true nerd. Is that safe to say? Yes or no from both Justin and Zach?
I agree.
Yeah, is she a nerd?
I would say she's a nerd from the early G4 days. Right now, I'm kind of like a little sour grapes when she said she was doing her own stunts in X-Men when she clearly has a stunt double.
Maybe her stunt for her is like, I don't know, boning the director. That's a fucking stunt.
I guess that'll count. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like, does someone that special, someone that pretty, someone that smart deserve to be the queen bee? Is that acceptable?
Is it acceptable?
Or should it be accepted? I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. I mean, pussy power, right? I mean, it's just kind of like, if you want that girl, you're gonna do whatever it takes, and if that means being a little bit more subservient or whatever, you know, whatever you want to say. If she just wants you to do shit, dress a certain way, you're gonna do it if you really want that.
Like what I'm saying is, let me give a car example. You own a Ferrari. It's expensive to maintain.
Yeah.
It may be a bitch ass to put gas in, but you accept it. Or do you go to like maybe a Mercedes instead? You know, but for me, someone like Olivia Munn is a Ferrari. That's obviously subjective, but to me, she's pretty, she's tall, she's mixed, she's cultured, she knows about Japanese culture.
Yeah.
She's Chinese, but she speaks Japanese fluently. She makes constant references to being Asian, loves her mom.
Yeah.
A big fucking meme whore, according to like the scandals from years ago where...
The leaks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so basically what I'm asking is, let's say you guys are well established. You guys make like $500,000 a year. And then you had the opportunity to date Olivia Munn. Do you automatically go, well, it's a shitting contest now, babe? Or should you really automatically see, okay, established, has her money, fine as hell, smart, doesn't really need me?
I think you have to see that. I mean, you can't just
and accept it.
Yeah, you can't ignore that, right? Because I guess if you can do that and still get her, then all more power to you. Because it just seems like she has that many more options. Like,
and she can create her options,
right?
too.
And let's just say, for instance, she saw a guy that she wanted to get with, and she fucking would do whatever it took. You know, oh, I like this, I like that.
Sure.
When she really doesn't. You know, same shit.
Zach, do you agree with Jay's position?
Yes, and I could even put it up to this example. I was at an open mic the other night. It was actually at my open mic, but what happened was there's this like 6'3", 6'4" model. She's blonde hair, beautiful, and she goes up and she started saying like, "Yeah, I'm single," and she was like, "I haven't had much opportunity," and then like I just like I couldn't help but burst. I couldn't help but burst, but I gave her the compliment. I was like, "Yeah, but it's by choice." Like I just screamed out. I was like, "It's by choice," and then she stopped. She was like, "Thank you." And like it's true though. Like with someone that beautiful, it's just like it's your choice. If you were to just put one move on a dude, the guy would be like, "Oh, it's game." Like he would totally take her up on the offer. So
I agree. I think I agree with both your points. Do you agree, Justin? That fine?
Rephrase that for me.
So if let's say you're established, you make like $500K a year. You have your own home, you pay for your cars. You have the opportunity to date Olivia Munn. Do you accept right away that you are probably going to be the subordinate? You've been the man all these dating years.
I get you. Well,
but now Olivia Munn's the opportunity. Do you automatically accept like, this is Queen Bee. I might get stung and eaten by this bee.
Like, yeah, you gotta accept that you're Olivia Munn's boyfriend, and nobody might not know your name. pretty much.
Okay, so it's a clean sweep
Yeah.
across the room. So maybe to be fair, so that way the dummies who are listening, and hopefully you become one of us because we're looking for our people. It's just societal, the same way some women who are more submissive, they accept the man
Yes.
because they bring home the bread.
Yeah.
So now, really, without trying to spin, it's really acceptance of role.
And you're obviously it's just your chemistry and your match altogether too, because I mean, you know, like that whole forgetting Sarah Marshall thing. I mean, you know, it's the same kind of deal where he's doing music or whatever.
Makes money.
Makes money, but he's dating a star. Okay, well now guess what? She fucking finds another star.
An equal star.
Right. To the and he just is able to do his thing.
Which is Olivia Munn's case, right? She found a
Aaron
football,
Rodgers.
a football
yeah.
mecca,
Yeah.
mecca, the Don Dada, one of the
Right.
Don Dadas of football.
The only upgrade you can ever do from Aaron Rodgers is to date Tom Brady.
And he's taken by a world-class model.
Yeah.
And God knows how that relationship goes.
Tom Brady left his pregnant wife for Giselle.
What a son of a bitch, huh?
And now he takes orders from her.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when she says, hey, stop talking about Trump, he shuts the fuck up.
Yeah. She's not about that life.
And when it's time for them to go to the White House to go meet Trump, he doesn't go.
So it's role acceptance.
Yeah.
Is that a clean sweep for the room?
Yeah.
Role acceptance?
Pretty much.
Okay. I have several conversations with Justin all the time about electronic equipment, gadgets.
Yeah.
You know, in pre-production, we were talking about this. Since Steve Jobs died, what does Apple put out? Steve Jobs died when the Apple Watch, right? Mm-hmm. What are the new products? The 7 that's color red as the second release?
The waterproof watch.
Okay.
Right.
A red phone and a waterproof version of the watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
The
Apple's
dongle.
doomed, right?
The dongle.
Is Apple doomed?
Get in here, Justin.
I would say if they were smart, they would probably make the Apple camera and get into production again. But that's just my opinion, unless they want to sell more iPhones and iPads, or maybe create something that's professional for the iPhones and iPads, so that way us production people could use it. Like, crap, that's where more money is, not in the consumers.
And you heard it here on Plug 1-2 first.
Right.
So
Justin is not thinking about the world. He's just thinking about himself. For us production people.
copyrights goes to him.
You know, that's smart. Then you venture off into another sector. But here's the deal. Nothing new's being made anymore. Well, the iPad was revolutionary, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was useless. I was like, the fuck? It's like between a laptop and a smartphone?
Right.
Who's going to buy that? Just use your laptop.
Yeah.
But turns out putting the laptop on your chest is heavy. It's inconvenient. The phone's too small.
Uh-huh.
You know, who would have thought?
It's a happy medium.
Right. So I think Apple is screwed.
I mean, is there really that much buying power in that? I mean, if they're just providing services and things for their phone, I mean, why wouldn't that be enough? Or, you know,
Because Steve Jobs didn't think anything was enough.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think Apple and the world, I mean, it's safe to say Steve Jobs has affected the world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing pioneering that's coming out. It's just better versions of cell phone models.
Yeah. The thing too you got to think about also is that, you know, yes, it's not innovating like new products, you know, they just have upgrades of what they've built. But the thing about Apple too is their technology isn't cutting edge. It's not like, oh, they have the best camera on their phone, or, you know, the best like mobility on their, you know, the interface and whatnot. It just runs really well. That's what keeps people there. And, as all the Samsungs and Androids can add all the bells and whistles they want, but they're not like really that much cutting into market share for Apple. I have a coworker, avid Samsung user, and she wanted to keep going on and upgrading her Samsung, and then when they had all that shit with the 7, not allowing the toaster exactly. She moved to the iPhone 7, and I asked her just, I don't know if it was today or yesterday. I said, now that you've had it for a couple months, would you go back if like there was a dope Samsung phone? She's like, no.
The functionality of the iPhone is just way
superior.
And that's the thing about Apple. Once you buy one Apple product, you tend to just become a part of that family. It's kind of like when you're wearing clothes, and like back in the day when it was just like, if you bought Adidas, you're strictly Adidas.
Right.
Or if you bought
you're that B-boy Adidas guy.
Exactly. So like Microsoft, I noticed like you could bounce back and forth, but with Apple, you tend to like just get dragged into that family.
So as far as for technology, I think the world, technological, creative advances, the world's going to suffer because Steve Jobs is gone. That's just my opinion. The next guy I think I think we didn't get to discuss the article on our last show, is Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
I think he's the one who's going to take not so much the technological, but at least the social media crown.
Yeah, and that's data, right? So it's not necessarily the actual physical product that he's offering. He's just kind of making it easier for you to share and making data easier to be shared amongst people. I mean, they even have, I think now they have there's a function. I haven't noticed it on the phone app, but they have like a fake news kind of like you can check to
certify if the news is fake or not.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something, those kinds of things are going to be the next thing. I mean, yeah, the hardware, I mean, how many more different kinds of hardware? He was talking about glasses, but Google Glass was how many years ago, and it just went away.
Well, since we didn't get to touch on this on our last show, I mean, across the board here, all four of us, would you entertain the thought of watching a movie via glasses?
I don't know. I wear glasses, so I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Like,
but imagine the removal of the family TV, because you can just watch what you have to watch right in front of you. Put it on as glasses.
Bitch, have you seen Black Mirror yet?
No.
Black Mirror just makes me skeptical about all like that technology with like the glasses. Because there's this episode in Black Mirror where they had contact lenses, and the contact lenses had like this recorder. Justin, did you ever see this episode or no?
No. I haven't watched Black Mirror, but
I haven't got that far into it yet. I'm only
it was
season
in the
1.
Yeah, no, it was in the first season. This guy, like, he had the recording lenses, so like if like for example he saw a person's emotion, he could like play it back later, and he'd be like, oh shit, like he was lying or something like that. And so he used that. He used his contact because there's a chip in his brain where it's like he found out that his wife or like his girlfriend was cheating on him with this other guy, and it was just it was super crazy to see, because it's gonna be mostly ego, it's gonna be mostly obsession, and it's just gonna be complete reliance in the technology world.
Well, we already have that. I mean, we have our phones, and for the most part, it's kind of like if you see a picture of the new family, they're watching TV, and the kids are probably on their phone, right? Like they're texting, or they're app searching, or they're maybe they have those things where you're interactive with the show, but you still have another lens or another screen that you're looking at. And I think that's just part of the evolution. So you can still watch the same thing and just not looking at the same box. You can still have it in in the whatever, if it's glasses or contact lenses or whatever. I think that's just all part of it. I mean, we see in commercials now where you're sticking your phone on a thing for virtual reality.
That's what I'm saying, though, technologically.
Yeah.
That's where, when you think it won't stop, here's the VR world.
Right.
You know, I mean, and that's where I think, not to go back on the previous topic, like someone like Steve Jobs would like create something out of the box.
I like where Elon Musk is heading for Tesla. Like I like where he's going. I think like he could be the next guy, but like maybe not with phones, maybe with cars, or maybe with other stuff that we need for transportation, or even just like was he the one behind the train from LA to San Francisco?
The loop.
Yeah, the bullet or something like that. Like so I trust what his innovative ideas are, because I think that's a bigger picture. I think we're so far in technology right now that us as a civilization still has to catch up with just being disciplined.
Well, we're supposed to have hoverboards and flying cars.
According to Back to the Future too.
Right. So I mean how far ahead are we really?
And Terminator 1.
Yeah.
Well, that's according to our perception given by the media, right? It's supposed to be a desolate, robotic, war-ridden world with technology.
True.
But turns out, you know, we can just use a fucking drone to bomb places.
Yeah.
Stupid oil companies.
Justin and Jason brought this up about, like, you know, the 3-on-3 league for older professionals.
Yeah.
Before we get into the sports aspect, I want to talk about the sociological aspect of it. This is where fools older than us, they're like, dude, I want to stay in the game. Where before it's just, you know what, Bill Russell, you just retire and comment. You know what, Muggsy Bogues? Go ahead. The Charlotte local TV station wants you to comment on and be an NBA analyst. But now old folks want to keep doing their thing.
Well, there is that whole thing now where now you don't have to just stick to YouTube. You know, before it was easy for them to just fall in the background, where it was like, okay, well, you can just be on TV and be an analyst. But now people are just still, you know, watching YouTube stuff. You know, whether it's, you know, the Lakers Nation posting Kobe games or whatever, but you know, you still hang on to it and you can still do it. And now the museum comes to life and you can watch them play modern day basketball 3-on-3.
Break down like some of the information that you guys found on research on 3-on-3.
Well, this is from TotalProSports.com. This past Monday, which was actually on 420, Ice Cube's Big Three League was finally released its full schedule and rosters after finally securing a TV deal with Fox Sports. And so this is going to be played during the summer. FS1. So they're going to like major cities such as Brooklyn, New York, Charlotte, Tulsa, Philadelphia, Nashville, Dallas, Lexington, Kentucky, Los Angeles, Seattle, and they're ending it in Las Vegas. And so far you got player coaches like Allen Iverson, Charles Oakley. Like these are some of the other coaches actually: Gary Payton, George Gervin, Rick Mahorn, Dr. J, Clyde Drexler, and Rick Barry.
Those are coaches, but they have players like Jermaine O'Neal. You know, Allen Iverson is also going to play. Chauncey Billups. And so you're going to get to see all of the 2003 classics.
Sure.
You know,
Start playing. And that's the beauty of social media and the internet, right? You get this like second metabolism to be involved.
And they're going to have like 4-point shots. They have like 3 spots. I think I heard Ice Cube say they're 30-footers, but there are 3 spots where you have a 4-point shot.
Oh, wow.
So. Justin is right. It is kind of like Bellator for basketball.
This shot live to Fox Sports 1? Is this going to be live on Fox Sports 1?
Yeah, apparently.
I think so.
Ooh, more work for me.
Yeah.
Oh, snaps. You're going to be are you going to be traveling then with them or no?
No, I'll just be sitting comfortable at the studio doing tape op.
He's going to be at the studio.
Doing controller work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I feel worse for the fighters. I'm not as mad for the basketball players because, you know, you still could get injured
Yeah.
but it's not like a fighting sport.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You know, with Bellator, I'm starting to feel like maybe you put in a limit, man, an age limit.
Like what happened with Kimbo and Dada.
You're right.
Yeah, that was terrible.
God knows how much that added to a heart attack for Kimbo's passing.
And then Dada, did he die too or no?
I should know, but I don't. But yeah, I mean, with Bellator and all that, I just don't know where it's gonna go.
See a familiar name here on the list of players. Your favorite, Brian Cook.
Oh, 6'9" fat fuck. Instant offense. Son of a bitch devil.
They got some crazy names here, man. I mean, they're gonna have White Chocolate, Jason Williams. I've seen clips of him playing.
Still active.
He's still dope. Mike Bibby, Bonzi Wells, your boy Ricky Davis.
Oh, double horn head tap.
Right. I don't know. Vashawn Leonard, another blast from the past.
Did you say Corey McGetty?
Mike. I said Mike Bibby. Mike James.
Wow.
Yeah, they got some names here, man. It should be a good product. I don't know. It's half court,
Yeah.
so I don't know how much stuff you're really gonna see.
Dada was in critical condition, but he did not die.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Great research. Since it's like the woman, the shooter is female, the photographer is female. That era, I wanted to ask you guys in regards to Serena Williams, because a lot of people are starting to talk like she might be the female athlete of the century.
She's got to be in the conversation. I mean, I
just don't know. I just don't know who else.
Well, when I look up other, Jackie Joyner Kersey seems like to be the consensus number one.
Short-lived, but okay.
Well, 4 Olympics. It's just been a while. It's been since 96, but she went 84 to 96. That's
84 to 96.
Yeah. 4 Olympic Games.
Okay.
And the fact that she competes in the heptathlon. I mean, it's athlete you're talking about. It's just like, man, it just doesn't get any harder than that.
It is, but it's not year round. Maybe her training's year round, but like with the French Open, there's so many tournaments that Venus and Serena Williams will be playing. They'll be playing together. She'll be playing solo.
Right.
And it's just more the frequency in the 4-year span of what the preparation for the Olympics versus the 4-year span of playing tennis in the Olympics and regular tennis. I feel like there's a lot more wear and tear and vigor.
Well, it's not like they just do the Olympics and that's it. I mean,
Sure.
They have, all kinds of opens and tournaments and meets and things like that.
But the frequency.
I just don't know.
So eyeball test and media test, to me, because I don't know factually either,
Yeah.
to me it's Serena over that. Who else are the other choices? Are you fighting for Jackie Joyner Kersey?
I'm definitely not fighting for her. I just am just trying to, because I don't know that many greats in that sense, right? Serena is just the most recent.
And I think for the span that she's been doing it, where it's like in Ronda's case, we've talked about the fall of Ronda so many times, but it's just like when you brought up how Ronda kind of lost the lore after she lost the second fight. Not the first fight.
Right.
There could have still been the redemption.
Yes.
But the fact that she lost the second fight, it kind of looks like her time has like passed her.
It's ended.
So Serena's still dominant. She's still winning championships. She won this last championship while she was 5 months pregnant.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, not 5 months pregnant, but she was pregnant.
But she was pregnant.
Right.
But still, you fucking, again, like I said, I made that joke. I was like, are you going to put the baby's name on the trophy too? Like, are you going to etch
Right.
that? So.
And how long has Serena been playing, or at least in the limelight? I would say at least 12 to 16 years.
Like, I remember Agassi on ESPN, and then I remember seeing the twins, like both Serena
Already.
and Venus. Yeah, like that was since the 90s.
So I'm trying to figure out who else.
Late 90s. Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out who else, because I I know you're saying you're not fighting for it, but it seems like you're trying to muster like, hey, you can't.
I just think that
consider Serena.
Well, no, I'm not saying you can't consider. I mean, she's
wrong verbiage for me.
right,
Sorry.
Right. I just think that, you know, with the choices being, I guess, so limited, it's easiest just to pick the most recent. And I'm not gonna fight against Serena because I think she's the best. I just kind of wanted to open it up to, you know,
other possibilities.
Yeah, just other possibilities.
So who else aside from her?
Well, you know, I'm going down this list here from CBS News, and I don't really like this list. I mean, because really, after they had Jackie Joyner-Kersee as 1 and then Serena as 2, and this was published 2 years ago. So, you know, maybe it has switched, in fact. But, you know, they put in here like Mia Hamm, soccer player.
Short-lived.
Lindsey Vonn, Tiger's ex. Babe Didrikson. I don't know. She's also one of these Chariots of Fire athletes. Billie Jean King.
She's more pioneer than
great.
Than athlete of the century kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, because even though she beat a dude, she still lost the females after that.
I think Steffi Graf has to be in here.
Sure.
Danica Patrick. I mean, you know, so again, I'm not fighting that hard against. But Lisa Leslie is here. Okay.
I was thinking, because I was looking around.
Probably Cheryl Miller will have to be in there too.
Because the discussion for WNBA, it's like, is Lisa Leslie the best to ever play?
I think you just have to factor Cheryl Miller for what she's done and how skillful she was too. Even though she was never in the WNBA, I don't know if I'm being just old.
No, she was the first to get the repeat, right? With the Rockets.
No, you're talking about Cheryl Swoops.
Never mind.
Cheryl Miller is from like the 80s, and she's like, you know, obviously Reggie Miller's older sister.
Okay.
And you know, she just was the female basketball player. But she never played in a pro league, I guess. But Lisa Leslie did break her high school record for most points in a game. I think she scored like 105 points in one half.
Jeez.
Yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see in the end. I just feel it's slim pickings.
It is. You're right.
Slim pickings.
You're right. And honestly, if you were to ask me, I would say Serena Williams.
I would say Serena too, but I would say like to see that there's not that many options for females, you would have to go like UFC. You would have to look at the MMA world, and Cyborg is probably the most virtual, unbeatable woman there is right now.
Right. Who's fighting Jermaine Durandamy
at 209
in July 29th?
213, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Last topic, and
Sure.
we'll wrap it up. All right, let's keep this energy up. I guess the simpler question would be, would singers have more longevity over rappers?
I think it depends on what type of singer.
Okay. What would be an example of a singer with longevity and an example of a singer without longevity?
Ooh. Without longevity, I think, you know...
is it genre based?
Or just the way they sing, like
Okay.
power singers. You know, I would think their voices go out
Sure.
faster, you know, not being able to hit those notes versus shit, man. You kind of got me on that because I really wouldn't be able to tell you, maybe like a Prince or something like
Right.
that.
Or like a Sade. Like she's so mezzo soprano or even lower than that. She doesn't need to hit the high notes so much.
Well, we saw it with Mariah Carey on New Year's.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Well, that's a different thing though, right? It's not, I don't know about her physical singing. She couldn't hear and she didn't want to sing.
Oh, I thought it was because it was all lip sync.
I thought it was a combination of lip syncing and not hearing.
Oh.
So sorry
Yeah.
to sound Hillary between you two right now.
No, I think you're right. I think you're accurate. It's just also she couldn't hear it and she didn't She tried to lip sync, but she really couldn't hear it.
Yeah, just to see her give up and to go like, "Ah, fuck it."
But would it be safer to say in general, the ear test and the eyeball test, singers have more longevity than rappers?
Yeah.
Because like right now, if Snoop were to go on tour, Jay-Z were to go on tour, it doesn't feel old, but if I really objectively step back and take a look at that, it's like, dude, you guys can't rap your old lyrics of anger, and you guys are so settled and fortunate now.
Yeah.
I mean
you're right. But, aside from Jay-Z, I guess, because Jay-Z doesn't really rap about anger. He just raps about how much money he has and what he can spend and all that shit. But, they have to hustle differently. That's for sure.
Do you guys remember the Snoop line phase?
Yeah.
It was 2012 or something like that.
I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Really? I wasn't mad at it.
Because I remember I saw Metric at the Fox Theater in Pomona. And it was like, I was like, when's the next show? Like, who else is coming into town? And I saw Snoop line and just had that Rasta Safarian look. And I was like, you know what? I know I'm not going to get tickets to that, since it's Pomona, nor do I want to get shot. But I wanted to see what the crowd is. So I went back the next night, and I'm at a bar around the area. And I'm thinking I'm going to see like a bunch of like Bob Marley people, like just probably like cater to that. It's a still typical crowd. Like it felt like a 90s feel. Yeah.
Probably because they wanted to hear the classics too.
Now, granted, there's still marijuana. Like, there's still, like, the pads and the fucking, like, you know what I mean? But still, it was just, like, you felt like that type of vibe where, like, it wasn't a mosh pit. It was going to be, like, a jumping or something like that.
Like Dre. I mean, even though he was more part-time to half-time rapper,
right?
I wouldn't want to listen to him rap. What are you going to rap about?
Yeah.
That's true.
Like the FICA score? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Rap about the almost billion he got from Beats headphones.
Right. Thank you, Jimmy Iovine. That's like your hook.
Right.
And with Jay-Z, I think the most genius song that he put out was Death to Auto-Tune for his age range. Because it's like, it wasn't like about trying to out MC an MC. It's like, dude, what you're doing is terrible. Yeah. Auto-Tune. But after that, I don't know what else. Oh, what's a good expiration time for rappers? Mid-30s?
When you say expiration time, what do you mean? Like
the respect, the self-respect aspect of, I could still talk about relevant, radical, for the youth speeches, well, and themic songs and records.
It's not that anymore, though, right? I mean,
it's turn up.
It's turn up. And it's really just about the scene and the vibe you can create. I mean, I think...
So maybe that cuts off the age even lower.
Or it
because you want turn up.
Or it makes it higher. I mean, like like you gave an example, Snoop Dogg. He's just one of those dynamic personalities that can just change into Snoop Lion, come back and do the classics. I mean, he does his own hustle. Kanye, another one, where it's kind of like... If he goes on tour, he's selling out no matter what.
Well, Kanye's still relevant because Kim Kardashian, out in the media, being around these guys, and this is from 2012, and it's 2017 already. Oh my God, it's 5 years.
Goes by fast.
Like people, I would ask them about I would ask them about like Cypress Hill. I would ask them about Biggie. I would ask them about Pharrell. And that was the stage where they were like, Pharrell, I mean, frontin' was cool, but he's starting to put out some corny shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not here to challenge opinion. I'm not trying to give my opinion. I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like what's the cool cutoff for rappers?
I think current rappers, after 10 years, I think you're done. Like done. The current ones, the current crop. But if you're one of those special guys, then you could probably go 20 years. Like,
I don't know if Biggie's my favorite over Pac, and that's a different conversation. But I don't know if I'd want to, I know I wouldn't want to hear Biggie rap. I'd probably be interested just to see.
Really?
And be like, okay.
Wow. I think it goes the same for, like, you know, we mentioned before, old Cella. You know, you still have a crowd for the Rolling Stones. You know, I mean,
that's the game changer of the question.
Singers is what you're saying,
or no, for rappers. Yeah. You can still rap, but for your era of people. I
mean, I'm looking at you are the one that introduced me to A Tribe Called Quest, and like the first person that came to mind when you asked that question was Q-Tip. Because Q-Tip was like the type of person that inspired so many people back then. And then even from that time range, when I'm going back and listening to him, I'm like, oh my God, he's inspiring me. I still believe as if it's present time. And then to go back and to hear him on the last album that came out in November, I'm like, it doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't.
It doesn't feel the same.
For us, it's okay because then we go into this reminiscent button.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the probably the better question or the better answer to my question.
So you don't think that the last Tribe album didn't have it doesn't have the same kind of motivation or inspiration because these guys are old, or is it because the tide of thought is not really for that? I mean, because I think it's kind of like, well, that's what they're trying to do, is to re-inspire. And, you know, I thought it was a pretty good album.
I think I like the effort for the activism.
Yeah.
But I think the execution wasn't in my, like, and I'm the type of person that, like, when I hear a rapper that's about activism, I already side on their side, which is why I like the Fugees.
Yeah, maybe even just in terms of aesthetic. It's like Busta Rhymes is wearing a XXL long. You know, Q-Tip's biceps aren't as firm anymore.
Yeah.
You know, the message has been said, but for the older heads like me and Jay, it's good to rehear it. Mm-hmm. But we're in the age where we should be worried about fucking tater tots for our kids. Right?
Just shaking his head.
You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, that's why like groups like the Foreign Exchange, like rapper Big Pooh from Little Brother, you know, he was like, dude, that's what, and Fonte, they were like, I related with Nicolay and we did the Foreign Exchange because R&B singing holds more. I can talk about like regular pain. I can talk about, you know, relationship problems of having a new son and then the second child, you know, they can still be equivocal to the pain that way or the problems. But yeah, I mean, I think all around we said singers do have longevity over rappers, but it's just like with rappers, I remember even Kwame saying like, yo man, rap is like high school. You got 4 years for the B level and under. And then you're out. You got 1 or 2 albums and then you're out.
Yeah.
Can rappers do covers of other rappers?
I think it's sinful unless if it's like in the spirit of hip hop karaoke. Which for those of you listening, you know, Jay hosts LA's first hip hop karaoke crew called the Rhyme Along.
Yeah, yeah.
They can go to therhymealong.com. And I'm hoping you can spell rhyme because I can't.
RHYMEALONG, one word.com.
But yeah, it's an interesting evergreen topic. We may have to revisit this.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's late night. We're motherfucking recording this on the fly. Thanks to Justin hooking us up. And it's just a case of, you know, it's like our world now because of the internet. It's like the wild, wild west of adjustment.
Yeah. And now there are holograms. So, you know, it lives forever.
Yeah. I guess that's it. Signing off. Plug 1, 2.